class. You are having so many students. Actually 47. Okay, so six group in a group. Okay, six groups are going to be there. So in each group, 8 members. One group is going to be with the 6 members or maybe the 5 members. Okay, so you should need to be make a group list with 8 members. In the next class, um, you are going to be inform me that the group members that your group and group members, there should need to be a group leader. Okay, so yeah, what you're going to be doing to that the project, actually this you're going to be do a research work into the project. So mainly you are going to be write a 6 pages paper, and so for doing your research work, so anything, you can choose any type of networks, network from the networking field. It can be the computer networks field, it can be the wireless networks like wireless sensor networks, mobile ad hoc networks, next generation network, vehicular network, computer security, okay, IoT, artificial intelligence. You can choose, any field of any one of the field, from the networking side. So so how you're going to be start that your research work, that is going to be the main discussion um, in today's class. So you are going to be use the IEEE conference template, so that I'll share into the Google Classroom, and also you can download it from that the internet. Just if you're searching that IEEE conference template, um, Word, Microsoft Word template, uh, A4 size, you'll get it in the internet, but I'll also share it into the Google Classroom, so you'll be able to download it. So where from start your research, that is going to be the discussion. So I'm quite sure that maybe some of you are doing that the thesis. Is there anyone that already done the thesis or doing that the thesis? Click
Yes,
on.
sir.
Sir, doing
Yes,
thesis.
sir. Sir, completed thesis.
Yeah,
Sir, doing
very good.
thesis.
Yeah, right. So this is the fact, you can actually consider your research, that the thesis you are doing, you can also bring it into this project work, but it is going to be decision of the group members, right? I think it's going to be uh, countable for that all the members that actually want to work on that. The 8 members are there, so you should need to be take that the eight members decision for doing a research work. It's better to do a new work, based on that the interest of that the members of a group. um yeah, so when you're going to be um start that your work. Okay, just a moment. AICT. Mhm. So yes, you can see that the template, the conference template, IEEE 4 size. So you're going to be have a paper title first of all, that the work you're going to be do. Based on that, you're going to be select an appropriate title. um, and then you're going to be have that the author's name. So here you are all of from that the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. So simply you can use rather than this, you can use a single column. Okay. Maybe I can prepare it now. So mm, that will be column, one column. Yes. So it can be like this. Okay. So you can just simply the applications here. This can be removed. Okay, so that means here you are going to be write down your name, right? That all the eight members' name is going to be written here, full name with the comma, and before that the last author name you are going to be use in and then you're going to be write down the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and then the IUBT, International University of Business, Agriculture and Technology, and your university address. And there is going to be the email address. So you can write down all of your email address. If it is from that the same domain like gmail.com, then actually you can in a bracket, uh, in parenthesis, you can write down that all the ID, Gmail ID, and then after finishing the parenthesis, you can use at the rate of gmail.com. It's better that whatever we are discussing here, you are actually taking the notes because you need them, so that the paper you're going to be, have the abstract, so that the abstract you're going to be prepare here, that is going to be maximum 250 words. Okay, so that means you can count from here that after writing that you, so if you're just selecting that, you can see in the bottom that it is showing the word size 39. So you are allowed to use at least 250 words maximum into the abstract. The abstract you're going to be right at the end, when you're going to be done your writing your papers. I mean, when the work is already all the work is going to be done, on that time you're going to be write the abstract. So what is going to be write in the abstract, that we're going to discuss a bit later, after finishing the discussion of that whole template. The keywords actually, you are going to be choose the keywords from your paper, from your works, such a way so that when a reader is reading the paper, by seeing the keywords he can understand that what are the key things actually the reader needs to know, or is going to be gathered the information from this paper. So the keywords are going to be decided that way. So maximum 5 keywords you can actually use here. In the introduction part, yeah, I think it's better to start from that your topic selection. So first of all, you should need to be decide that in which networking field actually you're going to be doing your research. So for example, that you're selecting, for example, wireless sensor network. Okay, so first of all, that you should need to be read the overview of wireless sensor network. So you should need to be a good idea of the field, that the field actually you have selected. So after getting that the idea of that the I mean of the field, then you are going to be go for the application and challenges of that the field. So if I today I'm taking that the exam field of that the wireless sensor network for discussing. So in case of that the wireless network, so you are reading the overview, I mean, of the field. Okay, background of the field, so that you can actually get the enough informations that wireless, what is the wireless networks is what is the characteristics of the wireless sensor networks. Okay, so what are the I mean, uh, this field is actually how it is going to be useful for that the modern technology, um, for that the uh, but in the field of that the I mean, networking, the wireless sensor network, that what are going to be that the benefits, what are going to be that the I mean, in the different sectors in the world, right? That how this wireless sensor network is going to be benefited. The overview is going to be come with that. The features of that the wireless sensor networks will come with that. Uh, and then you should need to be go for that the application and challenges, so that with the applications actually you are going to be decide, I mean, that in which area actually or which application you're going to be work with. For example, the wireless sensor can be used in the different sectors like medical, like the fire detection. Okay, like, I mean, there are several actually fields are there, where actually areas are there where actually you'll be able to apply that the wireless sensor network. For example, that forest fire detections in a wireless sensor network, that can be a topic, I mean, so that the applications it will come, the applications are going to be tell that actually which area you'll be able to use the wireless sensor network. Okay, so we are going to be get some ideas about that the applications of wireless sensor networks, and each of that the applications there are going to be some challenges. Actually those challenges are actually the researchers who are doing the research in that in this field, they are basically working on those challenges of that the applications. So when you're seeing that the applications, so get an idea about that each of the applications and try to find out that in which applications actually you are getting the interest. So um, after selecting that the applications, then when, for example, that as I said, I'm interested about the forest detection, forest fire detection, and maybe also that the suppression, I mean, fire detection and fire suppression, suppression into that the wireless sensor network. If I'm selecting this topic, so that means I'm specific for the forest fire detection topic. So that means it's better that you are finding some survey papers on that the fire forest fire detection. So that means you should need to be go for that specific application that, I mean, that you have interested to do the research. So you go to the fire forest detection. So now your is going to be the job is that download some survey paper that worked on that. I mean, the fire detection techniques in WSN wireless sensor network. So now you have studied the survey in the survey papers. What is the survey paper here? Or taxonomy? You can search also that also with the taxonomy. So what is the what they are actually in these papers? You are going to be get the combination of, I mean, 5, 10, 15 papers. In a single paper, there are 5, 10, 15 papers are summarized actually in the survey paper. Okay, so a review, I mean, review paper also we call them that. So what you're going to be do, so you're going to be study maybe at least one or two survey papers, and you're going to be look after them. I mean, the review paper you are studying on that the fire detection, as I said that I have chosen. So in that the fire detection, so I'm going to be take a review paper, survey paper, taxonomies. Okay, so I'm going to be search them and I'm going to be study them. So when I'm going to be study them, so as I already said that this paper is going to be give me the summarization of 5 to 10 to 15 papers. So if I am studying those papers carefully, then I'll be able to see that what the people or what the researchers actually doing onto this field, into that the fire detection techniques field. So when I'm going to be studying them, so some of the papers are going to be boring for me and some of the papers are going to be interesting for me, and that the summary that I'll get. So if I get an interest in some of that the papers that they are going to be listed on that the reference field, so I'll download that paper. Okay, so to study those papers in detail, I'm going to be download it. So when you're going to be download it, I mean, you have chosen the fire detection, so now you're going to be check by that, I mean, after reviewing that the paper, then I mean, you are going to be download that. Okay, you are interested about the fire detection techniques, so you can actually download 8 to 10 papers from that the fire detection, related to the fire detection in the forest, forest fire detection techniques in WSN. So if you're searching that the papers, so you can collect the papers, maybe 8 to 10 papers you can select to study. So say that the paper numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the paper number 1 you are taking, so you're going to study that the introduction part of the paper, and you'll be able to find there that, I mean, how that, I mean, the authors are actually seeing or observing that the fire detection techniques in WSN, and you'll be able to find there that what they are actually going to be proposed. What is the problem statement? That is a very important thing. That what is the problem statement they're actually taking, and then what are the proposal actually there they are planning to actually give or proposed. So also it is going to be give you some ideas that that what is going to be their objectives, actually how they are going to be progress with that their proposal in the introduction part. So that in that the introduction part, mainly that you are going to be find some overview of the field, then that the motivation, then that the problem statement, then their objectives. Okay, so these are the things you're going to be get from the introduction. And after that you are going to be see they have also studied some literature reviews, so you can also study them, because um, based on those literature reviews the authors actually find out the research problem. After studying those related work, on that paper number one, so the that paper authors actually, after studying those literature reviews, he has actually find out that the research problem that he want to address, and he want to give that research methodology to solve it. So read them the literature reviews. If you feel some literature reviews are interesting for you, so you can actually download that the paper, by checking the reference, and you can actually study them also. So you're reading from that the paper, that okay, what the problem statement they have taken, what is the proposal they have given, what are the literature reviews key things they have actually, from their literature review, what are the key things they have considered. And then in the research methodology, if they have given a scenario or maybe a system architecture system model, so in that the system architecture system model, what are the requirements of the system, maybe that the hardware requirement, the software requirement. So you should need to be understand, and some papers give that the scenario to explain you that the problems that actually the authors are interested to solve. So you can write down that, you have to understand that the system architecture or system model properly. And after that you're going to be read that the requirements, hardware and software requirements. And then you're going to be mm, yes, then after that you're going to be look after that the methods they actually they have used for solving that the problem. So they may use there some algorithms, they may use there some mathematical equations, mathematical analysis, okay, so on. They are going to be explain there the methods that actually how their system is going to be work um, according to the plan, so that the problem can be solved. And after the research methodology, you are going to be the next section is going to be the performance simulation, that is the section number 4. And the section number 4, actually they are going to be tell to you that how they have actually tested their research methodology. Simply that, the research methodology is a kind of a thing that you are theoretically you are actually giving some plans, or giving some methods, or giving some suggestions or suggested thing that that is theoretically, actually mainly it will come into that the into that research methodology. Of course, there are some algorithms are involved, some diagrams are involved. Yes, of course, that they are going to be there. But to prove actually that your yeah. So can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so the electricity has gone. All right. So what I hear that the research methodology, that after doing the research methodology, you are into the performance evaluation part. So in that the performance evaluation part, actually you're going to be test. You have to show that the proof actually that in the research methodology, that the plan actually you have, the methods actually you have used, you have given your proposal for solving the problem. So in the performance evaluation part, you should need to be actually test your research methodology, that actually how much effective it is going to be, for solving that the problem statement that you had in the introduction chapter. So in the performance part, you're going to be tell that actually to show the effectiveness of your proposal. What type of testing actually you're going to be followed with. There are different types of testing. Like you can do it in real life situation. You can create some. You can design some prototype. You can go for some experiments. You can go for that the virtual simulations. There are different simulation tools are there to do the virtual simulations actually. So you can taste over it there. So there are different ways, so it is going to be depend on you that actually which type of I mean testing you are going to be do. I mean, what is going to be appropriate for you. So people, most of the people in the world prefers that the simulation tools, as because I mean they are free, and as because you're going to be do that the virtual simulation, so there is not going to be any cost. It's free. So that is the reason most of the people go for that virtual simulations. But you can do also, I mean, if it is a work that, I mean, if you are capable, then you can actually also do that prototype design, and you can actually develop it prototype, and you can actually test with that your prototype. So there are different ways to do that actually, that I mean, testing. So based on that, the testing, whatever the testing you are doing, it's a prototype testing or it's a simulation you are doing, then from there actually you should need to be collect the raw result. So with that the results actually you should need to be by taking your result, you should need to be think that actually how you are going to be show the performance of your proposed network, proposed work. So yes, it is not only testing of your work, but also you should need to be test one of that the work from that your literature review that actually you have explained. So if you're testing that your proposal and one of the literature review proposal, then actually you'll be able to compare that new result with that existing work result. Okay, so that time you'll be able to check that actually your work is, I mean, performing better than that paper or not. So the next it is coming that, I mean, it can happen that, I mean, there are different factors, different metrics can be used to actually represent that the result. So for your work and the existing network, existing paper result. So it's not really needed that in every part of matrix or every factors your proposal should need to be show the better performance. It can happen that in few metrics and in few factors that your proposal can actually your proposal can actually, I mean, show that the poor result than that the existing one. So you have to focus on that, I mean, that the parameters you have taken, that the matrix you have taken, that based on which matrix actually your work is going to be more effective. So after finding that those the significant results that actually that your proposal is going to be have, you are going to be mainly represent those significant results into that the later part of that your performance evaluation. So in the evaluation part, you are going to be tell that how you are going to be test. If you're using a simulation, then you have to give that the simulation simulator name, and then that the parameters that you're going to be used into that the simulation. If it is a prototype testing, then you're going to be tell that, I mean, the design, what are the hardware you required, what are the softwares you required. I mean, you should need to be given an explanation of that your testing scenarios with that the prototype you have to give that. And then after that the results, what I said, that the graph you have to prepare to show that, I mean, which your proposed work is better than that the existing one. So this is the result, mainly the result part. And after finishing the result part, then actually you can go for the conclusion, and in the conclusion you're going to be tell actually the summary of the introduction chapter, introduction section, literature review section, then that your research methodology section, and that what you have done into that performance evaluation section. So this is going to be the step by step explanation is going to be there, and also with that there can be a discussion in the conclusion, like, I mean, that from the starting of your research to the ending of the research, that, I mean, the plan you had, the expectation you have, so how much actually you have reached after finish your this research. So you may find some difficulties, some limitations while you have completed this research, in between that starting to the ending, that the limitations you have got. So what are those limitations, you can have a discussions, and you can also give some future direction that, okay, how those limitations can be overcome in future. Also, you can tell that in the future direction that what is going to be the next stage of this research that you're doing. So with that, actually, the completion is going to be ended. And after that, you are going to be have the reference list. So you should need to be give the list of the reference, maybe that the papers that you have studied, if you have used the different source like that internet, maybe that some blogs, maybe books, textbook, okay, that the books, any books. So journal paper, conference paper, that actually you can list into that the reference section. So uh, you are going to be list the reference, only those references that actually you have used for preparing that your research paper. Okay, and if you're, for example, that if you are just listing the 10 papers, 10 reference papers, all the 10 reference papers must need to be cited into the appropriate places of your 5 sections. So that means, for example, that you are bringing some informations from that the internet, so from a paper, say that a paragraph you have just simply copying and pasting into your paper, and that's going to be the plagiarism. Okay, that you cannot do, that is actually not permitted. So you should need to be, if you are bringing some informations from the different papers, so you should need to be write it by yourself without affecting the meaning of those informations. So after to say that you have taken a definition of wireless sensor networks from somewhere, and then you are actually from a paper, and then actually you are writing it or changing it, paraphrasing it. So then after doing that, you should need to be give that the cite that the reference number, right? So that the reference list you have, having said that paper one was the reference number one, so that the reference you are giving that the number one in the reference list, so that the definition you are bring after finish the definition in the third bracket, you should need to give the number one. So this is what I mean, the way that you should need to be cite that all the 10 references that you have listed. So this is that the a complete overview that actually how you are going to be prepare that your paper. So I was talking about that. I mean, that wireless. I already said the introduction part with that the wireless sensor network. I'm working on that the fire detection techniques. So I'm going to be tell that what is the problem. So how, I mean, in the problem statement it can come that actually in the forest, I mean, fire can be happen anytime. I mean, there can be I mean, if that the fire occurs mm, into that the forest, then actually the fire is actually very quickly, it can be split all over that the forest. So I mean, if that the you're not taking the necessary actions immediately, I mean, when the fire occurs, fire event occurs, then I mean, that complete forest can be actually destroyed. Okay, so that is why I mean the it should need to be I mean, should need to be some sort of techniques need to be applied into that a forest, so that actually you can, if the fire even occurs, you can immediately get some notification or alerts, so that actually you can take that the necessary actions, and actually you can suppress that the fires. So that the problem statement is here that we should need to be I mean that there is no in the fire forest, there is, sorry, the forest, there is no actually fire detection system. So that means you need to be give that a detection system such a way so that actually it can prevent, it can detect the fire and it can prevent it. So now, yes, of course, that there are several works already done into that the for that the fire detection and the wireless sensor network is already done, many works already done. um, but I mean, there are, so those works, I mean, you are studying and you are going to be see that what is the update of the research for the fire detection in the forest, so by using the WSN. So you have to study those papers, you are going to be see that the problems they are seeing, observing in the different ways. Remember that the more the papers you're going to be studying for your selected topic, in my case it is the forest, as I said, the forest fire detection. So more papers I'm going to be studying about the forest fire detection, the more depth or knowledge I'm going to be have about the forest fire detection. I mean, so this is what I mean. Look that I mean anything. I mean from the real lifetime. If I'm telling that, if I'm asking you that, okay, okay, so tell me that if I want to go from Dhaka to Chittagong, and I would like to reach very quickly from Dhaka to Chittagong. So what is going to be the right plan for going from Dhaka to Chittagong? So there are bus transportation is there, rail is there, airplane is there. So if I'm telling it, then immediately you're going to be telling me that, sir, go by air. You can go reach there quickly. So why immediately the answer is coming to you? Because you know that, I mean, this is going to be the fastest one among all this, between these three transportation services for going from Dhaka to Chittagong. So that is what the problems you're going to be know more, I mean, in depth problem, in depth you're going to be know the problem. You are going to be able to think more better solutions. So the papers, more papers you're going to be study, you'll be able to see that the different peoples are observing the same problem in different ways, as well as they're giving that the different types of solutions. Maybe some people are just following a paper and giving some modifications to improve the system, or some people are thinking no, that we can use the different technologies than that the technologies have been used into that the paper. So this is how that, I mean, you should need to be progress with that the introduction chapter. So after the introduction chapter in the literature review, you are going to be, I mean, in the introduction chapter, the main challenge is going to be find that the problem statement. Okay, so that what is the problem actually you're going to be work for. Remember that your whole research work is going to be for the problem that you are going to be assigning to the problem statement of your paper. So the literature review next section you are going to be move. In case of the literature review, so you have studied the 8 to 10 papers, as I said, and from that you have to find it out the three to four best relevant papers. Those the papers actually directly or mostly relevant to that your research problem. So you are going to be summarize those three papers. So one of the format for your, I mean, I'm telling that what you're going to be writing to that the mm, in your, just a moment. What you how you're going to be right, say that paper number one you want to you are taking for literature review. So you're going to be right there that okay, the authors have proposed these and for solving that this problem. So you should need to be tell that the what they have proposed for solving what problem, that you're going to be tell first, and then you're going to be discuss about that the key methods, key techniques actually they have used for solving that the problem. So remember that this is a conference paper that you're going to be 6 pages paper you're going to be prepare. So you are not getting the chance to actually tell the detail about the literature review. So you should need to be filter that the things you have studied from a paper, and you have selected the paper. So you should need to be right there that what are the what actually the authors have proposed, and for solving what problem, what are the key methods they have used for solving the problem, and what are the I mean testing procedure that they have applied. They have done the simulation that which simulator they have used, and what is the result actually they have achieved. And I mean that what is the strength. I mean with the results, how they are showing that their work is better than the others, so that you can bring. So then you should need to be find out limitation of that the paper. Okay, so how you can actually write that the limitation of the paper. So for that actually you should need to be that the papers you're studying, the 10 papers you're studying, each paper are having the most of the paper are going to be have the literature review, and those so read them that how so that paper number one, the authors actually discuss in the literature review three papers. So read those three papers very carefully and try to understand that how that the liter I mean if the paper number one summarize the three papers, download those three papers or maybe one paper and read that paper, and now come back and find out that how the paper number one authors have actually write that the paragraph with that what they have proposed, what problem they have solved, and what are the methods, and where actually that the paper number one authors have criticized the paper. So that the, I mean, somewhat that you should need to be criticized that in the literature review that the papers you're going to be um, paper you're going to be I mean described. So you should need to be criticized smartly, right? Academically, okay? That with that, I mean, it's not criticized doesn't mean that actually you are going to be tell that, I mean, their work is wrong. No, you should when you study that the paper, you should need to be do it with write it in such a way that actually what you are going to be proposed, so that should there should need to be a link that the proposal you are giving literature review paper what they're saying, so there is a link that what actually you are trying to improve in. So maybe something you are adding that is not on that the paper, so you can actually bring that the discussion that okay, in this paper that okay, this method has not been applied and therefore this problem can be occurred. So from that, when you're studying the paper on that time, I mean, learn it out that how those paper the authors are criticizing the other papers in the literature review section. So from there, actually, you can learn that how to write down that the literature reviews, how to criticize that the other papers. So you can learn and you can do that. So the literature review, you are going to be, as I said, the format is going to be that what the author have proposed, what the author for solving what problem the author has proposed, their uh, work, and then you're going to be tell that what are the methods they have applied, and after that you're going to be tell that what are the I mean, what are the simulation tools they have used, and what their results actually shows. I mean, how that their work is actually shown better than that the other works. So then you can actually tell that, I mean, the limitation of their work, and this way you can do the next two papers as well with the same format: paper number one, paper number two, paper number three. So you're discussing, and after that you can bring a discussions here with the for the research gaps. On that, the research gaps you can discuss about these three papers as well as the other papers, 10 papers you studied. So from those also you can bring some discussions to show that actually what are the research gaps that actually you have identified by studying those, I mean, 10 papers. So now you have finished the literature review. So research methodology, I already said that, I mean, uh, bring a scenario. Maybe you can start with a system model, or maybe a system architecture system model, or maybe a scenario, and where actually you're going to be show that actually, I mean, that the proposal you're giving, that the proposal is going to be, I mean, if you're having system model and system architecture, then or a layout, I mean, a scenario, then actually it is going to be easy for you to explain that your proposed work. So after giving the system model, first explain that in the system model what you have, then tell that what are the requirements, that the hardware software requirements, then they'll tell that what are the methods actually you're going to be used. Maybe you can use some algorithms, maybe you can use some mathematical equations, maybe you can use some I mean, some other techniques as well, right? So I mean, what is that? Discuss about the methods, and then you can have some that some flow diagram, you can have some flow chart, okay? So to explain that you complete system, that how it is going to be work. And the performance simulation, I have already said that you can tell that, I mean, how you're going to be tested if it is simulation, then which tell that to them to show that the effectiveness of your proposed or which simulator you have used, what are the parameters have you have used, and then tell that, I mean, with that the result graphs you can show that actually how your work is going to be better than the um, existing one. So this is one, I think that in this the 6 pages paper that you are going to be prepared, so you do not need to be actually test it with that the project or that, I mean, with that prototype or that the simulation tool. With that, then you're going to be do a comparative scenario that what you have proposed, and the literature review techniques you are having. So what are the I mean, how it is going to be better. Your proposal is going to be better in what with what perspective it is going to be better. So with that, that a comparison table that you're going to be shown into that the simulation part. So you do not need to do that any simulation, or you do not need to prepare any prototype for your. So this is what I mean. that the work you have to do. I think now you can ask the questions you have in your mind. Do you have any questions in your mind? If you have any questions in your mind, you can ask. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So about your the work, if you have any questions in your mind, then actually you can ask it. Okay. So we are discussing about the template electricity came. So I can show you that. The template is, this is the two column paper that you have to prepare after the start. Okay, I have to talk about the abstract. I forget it. So you are going to be used that the number one introduction. This is going to be removed, heading one, and then you are going to be write down that your introduction part here. Then you can second part is your literature review. So you can write here that literature review and or the related work. And then if you need that these sections, then you can use it that A, B, C sections. If you do not need it, then actually you can simply remove this. And if you need more than that A, B after C, then you can just simply copy it and simply you can enter here, and then you can control V paste it. So you can get that the C here, right, automatically. So you can now change that your title here, and you can write down that information. So the third part is going to be your proposed work. So you can give here that a research methodology. You can give the title, or you can give that your proposed title here on, and then you can start here that your explanations. So if there is a figure available into that your work, so that the figure is need to be placed smartly, and also the figure caption is going to be underneath of the figure, just bottom of the figure you should need to be give the figure caption. So the figure number is going to be figure one dot, they give the title underneath of the figure. And then the figure, any figure you're placing into the paper, you should need to be give the description of the figure by mentioning the figure number. So you should need to be say that like figure one shows the system model, for example, and now you're actually explaining that in the figure what else you are having. So now, if it is the table you are having into that in your work, so the table is going to be come with that the top of the table. You can see it; it is here, and just you should need to be give that the table number one. So and then if you need, according to that you plan, you can actually edit the table. So according to your need, that column number, row number, you can prepare, and you can follow that for the title of the table, that you can follow that the bold, you can do the bold, and then actually uh, the remaining row column you can actually use it without the bold. So that you can see that, for example, that each and every paragraph are with that 10 times new roman. So you should need to be follow. If you're bulleting, then everything is actually times new roman here. So this is that, with the heading one, so you can see that is all the capital letter. So just you can select it and you can change it. The number four section is going to be your performance evaluation or comparative study. You can write down as because you can mainly compare, not the performance evaluation is there actually. So and this is the reference list. So you should need to be use that, at least maybe 8 to 10 papers in the reference list. So you can remove this the so it is written actually how you are going to be use this template. So in this paper you can read it once, then it is going to be very easy to actually to format that your paper. So that the reference number one, for example, that they have used, you see that somewhere that the reference number one is given. It is going to be showing me that the third bracket, uh, reference number one, it is reference number seven, right? So you can see that how you should need to be give that the reference number. So that means an extra excellent style manual for science writer is given at 7. So in the 7, so if I want to know about that the style manual, excellent style manual, so if I know about that, I have to go to the slide this on the 7. So now I have to copy it, and I can place it in the Google, and I'll be able to download that the paper, and I'll be able to get that that style manual, I mean, what it holds. So this is what actually for every reference number, that, I mean, if you're using the 10 papers, then the 10 references are going to be need to be cited. Look that here is the one. So the template will number citations consecutively within brackets. That is the one. So this is the one. So if you need to, I mean, the lines are the informations you're taking from the paper, so that is going to be cited. So that the number one is cited here. For example, that it is taken from that the number one, something like that. Okay, so that all the references numbers which should to be cited into the appropriate places into your paper. All right. And the last thing here is that the abstract. So the abstract you're going to be write maybe with the, I mean, the emerging field that actually you are going to be work on. You can tell a line from that the importance of the field that actually at this moment the research ongoing. Then you can tell that what is the problem statement, that what is actually you are doing, and actually what is that the problem you're considering for doing the research, so that the problem you can decide, you can tell. And after telling that the problem, then you can tell that, I mean, what you're proposing to solve that the problem. And you can tell that, after that you can tell that the methods, that actually what are the methods you're going to be, I mean, key methods that is going to be used into your proposal for solving that the problem. Then you can tell that, that, I mean, to show the effectiveness of your proposed work, which type of simulations or simulators, or maybe that prototype, you have used. So you can say here, just as because you're going to be do the comparisons, so you can tell that, I mean, you have done we have done a comparative study, with in the comparative study we have compared our proposed work with that, some of the papers, with that the existing, I mean, the literature, with that the papers are presented in the literature. So this way you can start, and then you can tell that the table one is showing that the comparison of that the how that, I mean, the existing network is going to be effective. Then that, I'm sorry, proposed network is going to be effective that the existing one. Then give the table, and after that, for that the table, give that the description, the method table in the comparative study section. So here you are just going to be tell that, we have done a comparative study, and I mean, we have compared our proposed work with the existing works, and we found that our existing network is going to be better than others in terms of key, I mean, by considering which factors, the fact with the in terms of these factors. So that is, I mean, you should need to be right into that abstract. Okay, and that is going to be maximum 250 words. Is it clear? Nobody's talking to me. Are you there listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mm. So if you have any question, you can ask. In the next week, you are going to be give me the, I mean, get ready, keep ready with you that there is a group leader is going to be list out the name of the students, group members, with their name, ID, and their email address, and only the group leader mobile phone number. Prepare it into the Microsoft Word. Okay, and after discussing into the next week class, then actually you can send. I mean, I'll tell to send those group list via email to me. Okay, so do not send it now. Prepare it, and later is going to be keep that the list of the members, and the next week actually, I mean, we're going to be finalized at the groups, and also that by that the week 1 week time you are having, so you can actually start working on this, that the, I mean, which field you're going to be work, and which application and which problem. So by that, the next week, I'm going to be ask you that actually what you have selected for your research work. So the group leader, please prepare a document file. In the document file, just list out that your group members with that their name, ID, and email address, and you can give a group name, and also you are give the title of your work, that the paper title, that actually which field and what actually you're going to be do. So that is need to be ready with you into that the next Saturday class. So and you should need to be remember that the submission of this paper, your prepared paper is submission deadline is going to be the 1st December, 01 12 2023, 1st December. Okay, and you should need to be also prepare a presentation. So how you're going to be prepare a presentation, that I'm going to be give you some ideas later on. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
But sir, next
Yes,
Saturday
sir.
our midterm exam. Whatever.
Sorry, I mean, if it is that the, I mean, next class I said, okay. So if it is not Saturday, then maybe we're having the class on Monday, Sunday, Monday, something like that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So do you have something in your mind for that the discussions we have done today? If it is not, then thank you very much. Enjoy your time and see you to the next class. Thank you.